Beginning with module number 5, Working Capital Management. Today under this module, we will be seeing theory related to working capital management, and I have named this part as module 5.1. As per VTU syllabus, under module 5, you will be having these aspects. Working capital, theory only. What is the meaning of working capital? What are the factors influencing working capital requirements? What is current asset policy? What is current asset finance policy? Determination of operating cycle, determination of cash cycle, estimation of working capital requirement of firm, case study on working capital determination. So the elements that you can see on the left hand side is covering only the theory part, which we will be seeing today. I have named this as module 5.1, and determination and estimation of these aspects that you can see on the right hand side is a combination of theory as well as problems. So moving ahead, meaning of working capital. Now what is the meaning of working capital? Capital that is required for the day-to-day working is called as working capital. Day-to-day working of the organization is called as working capital. Now let us see the meaning. It represents the funds available to an enterprise to finance regular operations, that is, day-to-day business activities effectively. So the funds, the capital that is required by any organization, enterprise, firm, company to run its day-to-day activities of the organization effectively is called as working capital. Now, what are the components of working capital? What is the formula for working capital? Working capital is equal to current assets minus current liabilities. So what is the component of working capital? Current assets and current liabilities. Now let us see what do we understand by current assets. Current assets represents those assets which can be easily transformed into cash within 1 year. So current assets are all those assets which can be converted into cash within a period of 1 year, comes under the category of current assets. Now what are current liabilities? On the other hand, current liabilities refers to those obligations which are to be paid within an accounting year. So similarly, current liabilities are nothing but short-term liabilities which need to be liquidated and converted into cash generally within 1 year. So I hope you all have understood what is the meaning of working capital, what are the components of working capital, and what does each component stand for. Now you know current assets. So what all comes under current assets? Cash in hand, cash at bank, bills receivable, sundry debtors, short-term loans and advances, inventories of stock like the raw materials, finished goods, stores, repaid expenses and accrued incomes. What comes under current liabilities? Bills payable, sundry creditors, outstanding expenses, short-term loans and advances, dividends payable, bank overdraft. So these are some examples which I have given you for current assets and current liabilities. Moving ahead, types of working capital. Working capital is divided into two types. One is value based, which is also called as concept based, and one is time based. Under value based, we have two types, which is further divided into two types: gross working capital and net working capital. And under type based, it is divided into two types: temporary working capital, which is also called as variable working capital, and permanent or fixed working capital. Now we already know that what is working capital, that is capital required for day-to-day working of the organization. Now what is gross working capital? The amount which the company has invested in its current assets is referred to as gross working capital. Means whatever the amount the company is investing in its current assets. What are current assets? We have already seen in the previous slides. So it is termed as gross working capital. What is net working capital? The difference between current assets and current liabilities of the company is referred as net working capital. When from the current assets you minus the current liabilities, it is nothing but net working capital. Gross working capital is only the current assets. Net working capital is current assets minus current liabilities. Now, what is temporary or variable working capital? It is nothing but the minimum level of working capital that is required, okay, or the uniform level of temporary or variable working capital is nothing but the uniform level of current assets is not required to be maintained throughout the year, because generally what happens is the demand for a particular product may be seasonal. So basis the demand, the year can be divided into either it can be a peak season or a slack season. So in the peak season, the inventories requirement will be very high because the demand will be very high. And on the other hand, when it is a slack season, the inventories requirement will be reduced by the manufacturing unit as there is a reduction in demand. So the working capital, okay, which is in excess of the permanent capital, we will see what is permanent capital, is called as a temporary capital. So temporarily working capital is nothing but that capital which is required to meet the seasonal demand. So it is a temporary, for that particular capital of fund is required to meet the demands for a particular season only in those seasons where the demand of the particular product is very high. Whereas permanent or fixed capital is nothing but minimum level of capital, working capital, which is required by the company to manage its operations. So, and it is not dependent on the production or sales of the product because the nature is permanent. So there is the demand for a particular product will be throughout the year. That is why the requirement of that particular capital will be permanent in nature. So it is permanent working capital. So I hope you all have understood what is value based and what is time based. Based on value based, you have gross working capital, which represents only current assets, net working capital, which represents current assets minus current liabilities, temporary working capital, which is just required for a temporary period, which is variable and it is not fixed, and permanent working capital is a capital that is required permanently and it is not dependent on other factors. Moving ahead, what are the factors influencing working capital requirements? See, there are various factors which will influence the requirement of the working capital. So let us first see the factors: nature of business, scale of operation, business cycle, seasonal factors, production cycle, credit allowed, credit availed, operating efficiency, availability of raw material, growth prospects, level of competition, and inflation are all those factors that influence the working capital requirements. Now, how do they influence the working capital requirement? Just let us see. Nature of business. See, businesses can be of two types. Either it is a manufacturing business or a trading business. Now, if it is a manufacturing business, it will take lots of time for a particular unit, manufacturing unit, to convert its raw materials into finished goods. So therefore, what happens is the capital will remain invested in the raw material for a longer period of time. So depending on the nature of business, working capital requirement will also change. If it is a trading business, it can be easily sold out. Next is scale of operation. Now, if it is organization which is running on a larger scale, will require more working capital, but organization which is running on a small scale business where the operation is very to a small scale level, it will require less working capital. Now business cycle is like when the demand for a product increases, the working capital also will be more. Now when the demand is decreasing, okay, then also then the working capital requirement will be less. Next is seasonal factors. Now some goods are demanded throughout the year, while we have some products which are demanded only on seasonal basis. Now goods which have a demand throughout the year, okay, they will require more working capital, but those where the demand is only for seasonal period, the working capital will be temporary in nature. So the requirement of working capital is differ based on the seasonal factor also. Next is production cycle. Production cycle means nothing but the time involved to convert the raw material into finished goods. So the longer the period, the more time it will take, for which the capital remains blocked in the raw materials, and more working capital will be needed. So where the period of production cycle is less, then less working capital will be needed. Next is credit allowed. Now those enterprises which sell the goods on cash payment need less working capital, but those who are providing credit facilities to their customers require more working capital. Next is credit availed. Now if raw materials, credit availed means here where you are purchasing and the creditor is giving you a credit facility on the purchases that you are making. So if raw materials and other inputs are available to you, if you are purchasing raw materials or inputs and they are available to you on credit, then you require less working capital. On other hand, if you are taking it in cash, then you require more working capital. Next, operating efficiency. Now operating efficiency of every organization will be different. Like converting raw materials into finished, some organization may convert their raw materials into finished goods very easily and very quickly at the earliest. Some organization may sell their finished goods very quickly. Some may receive the payments from the debtors quickly. So the operating efficiency will differ. So when the operating efficiency is good of a particular organization, less working capital is required. In other cases, more working capital is required. Availability of raw materials. Availability of raw materials also influence the working capital, amount of working capital. Now, if the enterprise makes use of such raw materials that is easily available throughout the year, then it requires less working capital because there will be no need to stock up, correct? Now, when the raw material available in the market, there is a shortage, then the organization has to stock up that raw material. So it will require more working capital in such situations. Growth prospects. Growth, as you know, means nothing but it is a development, and the organization may have sufficient possibilities of growth. If it is considering growth, then it will, if it considering development in its organization, then it will require more working capital. Otherwise, if it is being stable, then and if there is less growth aspects, then the amount of working capital will not be that high. Level of competition. Obviously, high level of competition requires the need of more working capital because it has to face competition in the market, either in terms of quick delivery or the credit facilities that has to be made available in order to meet up the competition. And last is inflation. Now inflation means nothing but rise in the price. So in such situations, more capital is needed than before in order to maintain the previous scale of production and sales. Because in inflation, what happens? Prices rise. So it has to maintain the same production and the sales. So what will be? There will be more requirement of working capital. So these are the different factors that influence the working capital requirements. Next, moving ahead, what is current assets and current assets finance policy? So current asset policy. Let us see first current asset policy. Assets of a company are financed by raising long-term and short-term funds through various sources. Now we know assets are nothing but they can be fixed assets or current assets. So when a company is having fixed or current assets, obviously those assets have to be financed either by raising long-term or either by raising short-term funds through various sources of finance, which we have already seen in unit number 3, which are the different sources of finance. So the ratio of long-term and short-term sources of financing a company's current assets is determined by various factors. So see, when you are going to use a particular source of finance in order to finance the company's current assets, there will be multiple factors on which it will be dependent. So what is the various factors? It can be like the risk appetite of the company, how much the company can take the risk if it is raising the finance, the flexibility of the company, the conditions that are prevailing in the market. So there are various factors which will be surrounded when you are going to opt for either going for short-term or long-term sources of finance in order to invest in the company's current assets. So this is current asset policy. Now current asset finance policy can be divided into 3 types. So a company may adopt either of one policy, okay, in order to take into consideration the current assets. The current asset policy in order to finance the short term or the in order to finance the fixed assets or the current assets, the company has to consider a policy. So it can adopt either of one policy, that is hedging matching policy, conservative policy and aggressive policy. Now what is hedging matching policy? The word hedging means what? It means protective or safeguarding. Now here in hedging matching policy, what happens is, it is nothing but a process in which the maturities of debts are matched with the maturities of financial needs, which means simply that you are going to match the life of the acquired asset with the source of funds. So I'll just give you an example. Suppose if you want to purchase a machinery which has a life of suppose 10 years. So you will plan to, in order to purchase that machinery, you will plan to get the funds by raising the long-term loan for 10 years to finance this purchase. Why? Because the life of the asset is 10 years. So you match the finance requirement with the source of funds. One more example, suppose if the inventory is taking that whatever inventory you purchased, it is expected to convert into finished goods and to be sold within a period of suppose 50 days. So you will make an attempt, okay, to raise short-term loan for 50 days because you require short-term loan in order to purchase inventory. So here in hedging matching policy, what will happen is, you will match the life of the particular asset that you're purchasing with the source of funds. Next is conservative policy. Now conservative policy is nothing but, under this approach what happens is, long term as well as short term fund requirements are met. How are they met? With long term financing and current liabilities are maintained at a minimum level. That means current liabilities are not increased, you are not taking more liability on you, you are keeping it at a minimum level, and you are ensuring that you are getting the short term and long term fund requirement with long term financing. Next is aggressive policy. Now under aggressive policy, what happens is, the short term sources are used to finance the entire or major part of the current assets. So in order to finance the current assets, you are majorly going to use the short term sources. And even for purchasing some part of fixed assets, you are going to use the short term sources. So the ratio of short term sources to the total investment in the assets of a company is quite high in those companies that will go for aggressive policy. So in aggressive policy, what is happening? You are making sure that you invest in current assets by using short term funds. You invest some part of fixed assets also by using short term funds. So this is an aggressive policy. I hope you have understood what is current asset policy and current asset finance policy. It is nothing but investing in the assets by making sure that you either raise funds through short term or long term, and for that, to ensure that you have invested in assets, you can use any of the policy, that is hedging, matching policy, conservative policy and aggressive policy. Moving ahead. Okay, thank you students, we have completed end of module 5.1 theory